Hello, grade 8s. Welcome to our new lesson. So today we are moving to a new unit. The unit that we're going to be working on is going to be graphing. Okay, so this is just an introduction to graphing ordered pairs. Now, the type of graphs that we're doing are graphs that are from the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, now that's a very ancient type of graphing. And to start off with, we need to know that there is an x-axis on this graph, and it is a horizontal number line. So here's an example of a number line, right? And you know in the middle is 0. To the left is the negatives. And just moving to the left of the 0, we get -1, then -2, -3, -4. And moving to the right of 0, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are in the positive direction. Now, what I have drawn here is just a part of a number line. There's 3 dots after the 4 to show that it goes on forever to the right, and 3 dots to the left of the -4, saying that it in fact goes on forever in the negative direction. Okay? Now, this type of graph also has a y-axis. And the y-axis is a vertical number line. Now, horizontal number lines go left and right. Vertical number lines go up and down. So this is a Cartesian coordinate system, reminding you, right? And so 0 in the middle. When we go upwards, it is positive. When we go downwards, it is negative. And again, this number line will go on infinitely up and infinitely down. So 2 axes on this graph, which are number lines. Now we're going to be graphing an ordered pair on this type of grid created with these 2 number lines. So an ordered pair or ordered pairs are 2 numbers. When we see that ordered pair, those 2 numbers are found in a bracket. And the first number in that ordered pair is the x. The second number is the y. And those indicate the x and the y coordinates. That means their location, which is a point on a graph. So this ordered pair is going to become a point on a graph, and the ordered pair is composed of 2 numbers in a bracket that tell the location of that ordered pair or that point on a graph. Now, moving on, the first number is the x. So the x coordinate is the first number of the ordered pair. And that tells you where to go left and right. Okay? The y coordinate, that is the second number in the ordered pair, and that tells where to go up and down. So it's a little bit like playing a game of battleships, where you would tell your partner that you're playing against, you're going to tell them to, go 4 to the left and 6 up, and that's where you want to drop your bomb and see if you, in fact, hit their battleship. So that's basically what we're trying to do here, is to locate a point in which we want to drop a mark or a point on that. Okay? Now, the other thing we need to know about these kinds of graphs is that there is what we call an origin. And the word origin means the beginning of something. So on this type of Cartesian graph, the origin is the intersection. That means like an intersection on roads is where 2 roads meet, right? So the intersection is where the x and the y axis on the graph meet. Okay? And this is where we start to plot our point. And in fact, where the origin is, that's where the x is 0 on the x-axis and the y is 0 on the y-axis. So there's a point there at 0, 0 where the two lines or number lines on this graph meet. So here's what one of those graphs is going to look like. Okay, so what do we have? We have a horizontal line. Remember, the horizon is like where the sky and the land meet. So if you were to look out into the distance, the land would be at the bottom and the sky would be at the top, right? That's a horizontal line that makes the horizon. That's our x-axis, and it's a number line. Notice going to the left is negative, going to the right is positive, and in the middle here where these two lines meet, that's where x is 0. And then we have our y-axis, and that is a vertical line that goes straight up and down. It goes up positive, there's our y, and it goes down in the negatives. So there's sometimes where students get confused about which is which. Just always remember, y points at the sky, so y in the sky, it kind of rhymes. Now what you also should notice is that this type of grid graph is really broken up because of these vertical and horizontal lines meeting. It breaks it up into 4 parts. And these 4 parts we in fact call quadrants. That word quad, right, you might recognize from a type of all-terrain vehicle that has 4 tires. So that prefix quad really means 4. And we have numbered them, okay? So quadrant 1, that's Roman numeral 1, that's where the x's are positive and that's where the y's are positive. So if you go in the x direction, you would go over this way, as well as in the y direction going up. That's where x is positive and y is positive. If we go counterclockwise around, that means counter means opposite of a clock. So from the positive one, which is quadrant 1, we move to the left to quadrant 2, and that is where x is negative and y is positive. So we're going to have a negative positive numbers that would fit in that quadrant here, quadrant 2. If we continue around counterclockwise, we're going to hit quadrant 3. And quadrant 3 is where x's are negative and y's are negative. You can see the ordered pair there is negative and negative. And then our last quadrant is quadrant 4, and this is where the x's are positive and the y's are negative, so positive and negative. All right, so we're actually going to put some points on this graph. So I've got a heading here that says, let's plot the points. So we're starting off with point A. Point A is at location 3, 2. So that means that the x goes first, that's our 3 number, and our y goes second. Now the way to remember which is x comes before y in the alphabet. So x is going to be the first number in the ordered pair, y is going to be the second number. So we started our origin, which is right here at the middle, where the x and the y axis start. And then we want to move in the x direction 3. So x tells us to go left and right. Because this is a positive 3, when we started our origin, we're going to go in the positive direction 1, 2, 3. And we're going to go right to that line. This 3 is right on that line. So we're going to go 3 to the right. Now we're not going to stop there. Our point doesn't belong there because we also have to go 2 in the y direction. Now y is up and down. So once we've gone 3 to the right for our x direction, we're then going to have to go positive 2, which is going to go up 1, 2. And you can see there's y2 and x3 are going to meet right there where these two lines connect. That's going to be our point A. We need to label it because I need to know, is that point A you're talking about there, or is that point B or C or D? So drop your point right on the line where they intersect there and then label it with the letter. The second point we have is point B. And point B is telling us to go in the x direction -3 and then the y direction 4. So we start in the center. X tells us to go left and right, so -3 is going to be to the left, 1, 2, 3. And then y is 4, so we're going to go up positive direction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to drop our point. Now you should be able to clarify that on the x-axis to get there, you would have to go to -3, and then you'd have to go y4. So where those two meet, that's where our point B is. We drop the point, we have to drop the point right on those lines, and then label it with its letter, okay? The third point we want to graph is point C, and it tells us to go -4, 0. So we're going to go left 4 because the x is first, and that tells us right or left. Left is negative. So down to -4 and then 0 on the y. So we're not going to go up or down, 0. So we drop our point right there, and we're going to label that point C. Okay? Now, the next 3 points don't have any numbers here. So I want us to be able to fill them in from the points that are on the graph. So let's find point D. Here's point D down here in quadrant 3. So to get to point D, you would start at the origin, and then you have to go left and right first. To get to point D, you would have to go left. Well, how much left? You'd have to go left until you hit -3. And so D is going to have -3 as its first coordinate, or its x coordinate. And then you'd have to go up or down. In this case, you're going to go down 1, 2, 3. So the y coordinate is also -3. So that point D has coordinates of -3, -3. Let's go to point E and figure out what its ordered pairs are. So x first, always left and right. So we're going to E. We're going to have to go right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to E. So that's going to be +5. And then we're going to have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So down in the y direction is -4. So +5, -4 is the ordered pair. All right, our last one is point F. And for F, we start at the origin, and you must realize that you don't go left or right at all. So that means our x is 0, no left or right. And then y, we're going to go down, so that's going to be -1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see the marker on our number line there, and so it's going to be at 0, -5. Okay, now you're going to be also asked questions like, which points are in quadrant 2? Okay, so quadrant 2 has points of B, and some people might say, well, C's part of quadrant 2, but then C's right on this line, so is that part of quadrant 3? No. Only the numbers that are located within, but not on the y-axis. C is considered on the y-axis, so it's not in the quadrant. So the points that are in quadrant 2 are B. The points that are in quadrant 4, so that's IV. The points that are in quadrant 4 down here is only point E. Okay? So anything on the axis is not considered part of the point of the quadrant. So F is on the y-axis, C is on the x-axis, A is in quadrant 1, B is in quadrant 2, D is in quadrant 3, and E is in quadrant 4. Okay? Now, the next thing you're going to be asked to do here is you're going to be asked, in fact, to be able to draw a shape by plotting points, okay? So we're going to be plotting points to draw a shape here, and it tells us to start by joining, okay? So we're going to join everything in this line. So we're going to start with -3, 1. Remember, we're going to go left and right first, and then we're going to go up and down second. So left, a -3 in the first point is telling us to go left 1, 2, 3. And then the 1 is telling us to go up 1. So left 3 and up 1, that's our first point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to join the second point to it. So we have to plot the second point. So we're going to go to -1, 5. So -1 is left 1, and then 5 is up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to drop that point, and I'm in fact going to connect that with a line. Now I'm going to connect the next point to the second one. So no, we don't want to wait until we've dropped all of our points, because then we won't know if we're connecting the first one to the second one or the first one to the third. So connect the first point to the second point, and then the second point to the third. So our next point is going to be at 1, 1. So that's right 1, up 1. Okay, and I've dropped my point there, and now I'm going to connect that with the last one. So I've done those 3. I'm going to cross them off. And now I'm going to start all over again. Okay, so starting all over again, now I'm going to go to -2, 3. So that means go left 2, go up 3, there's my point. Then I'm going to go 0, 3. So 0 left or right, and up 1, 2, 3. There's my next point, and I'm going to connect it. Okay, I've connected those 2. Now I'm going to go to the next one. So 0, 5. So that's 0 left and right, and then I'm going to go up 5. There's my point. Okay. The next one is at 4, 5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's my second point, and I'm going to draw a line between those. Okay. Now I'm going to start over again. Don't connect this first line with the second line, right? Don't connect the second line with the third line. Here we go. 2, 1. So 2, 1 tells me right 2, up 1. Then I've got 2, 5. That tells me right 2 and up 5. There's another point, and I need to connect those together. So I've done that. Okay. Starting over again, -7, -2. So left 7. I know the grid only goes to -6, but you know the next number would be -7. So we're going to go -7 to the left, and then down 2, drop our point. Then we're going to go -6, 1. So left 6, up 1. I'm going to draw a line between my points. So I've done those 2. Now, -5, -1. So go to -5, then down 1, and I'm going to drop my point there. So I've connected those 3. Okay. Go to the next one. Now, -3, -2. So left 3, down 2. There's my first point. Then I'm going to go left 4, up 1. So left 4, up 1. There's my second point. Connect them together. And then the third one is at -5, -1. So going left 5, down 1. There's the point. There's already a point there, but I know I need to join those 2 points together. Okay. All right, the next one is 4, 3, so that's right 4, up 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go 4, -2, so right 4, down 1, 2, and connect those points together. The next one is going to be at 7, -2, so right 7. Again, there's no 7 on my number line, but I know the next line on the grid would be 7, and then I'm going down 1, 2, drop my point. And then I'm going to go 7, 3. So right 7, up 1, 2, 3. And I'm connecting those 2 points together. All right. The last one is at 4, 1. So that means we're going to go right 4, up 1, drop a point. and then right 7 up 1. So right 7 up 1 drops another point, and we connect those together. All right, so on this case, we should be able to see that we have spelt out the word math, M-A-T-H, by connecting the points together. Now, you're going to not have words that are going to be created. You're going to have just shapes. Okay, there's going to draw a picture. All right, ladies and gentlemen, work on your assignments and get them handed in, and I hope you're all doing well, and take care. Bye-bye.